Hello and welcome to Brainy Moms. I am Teri Miller.
And I'm Dr. Amy Moore.
Today we're going to be talking about working moms, stay-at-home moms. Why can't we just get along? We're going to be talking about the top things you never want to say to a working mom and the top things you never want to say to a stay-at-home mom. And this has been a problem for decades. It's been this point of contention for decades since women first entered the workforce. And now more than ever with the COVID pandemic, things are just so hard on both sides.
Yeah, and I think that we should spend some time unpacking, why do stay-at-home moms and working moms not seem to understand or even respect the choice that each other made?
Right.
It's an interesting phenomenon to watch, and
It is.
I think there's so many articles that have been written about it, both from a humorous standpoint to, a serious issue. So
Right.
I think we should take a half hour and talk about it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, well, give us a little history because this is really spot on for you and me, not conflict, but just coming from such completely different backgrounds. So let's just fill everyone in. So tell a little bit about your background, your history, working mom, stay-at-home mom.
Right. So, I have been working since I was 14 years old, with the exception of 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I took, and I didn't even take the whole first 2 years off with my first child. I did some consulting work during those 2 years. So I've never been completely not a working mom, in the 22 years that I've been a mom.
Okay.
But
And that
that's a
was
very different experience than you've had.
right. And that was your life. That's just what you knew. You didn't think of anything different, expect anything different. And so my situation turned out differently when I got married. Like you said, I've been working since I was 14. I may have been 14. I think I was 15 actually when I got my first job. But yeah, so working since I was, 15. And same thing, when I was first married, I was working, I was in a professional career. And my situation took a turn that I didn't know that it would, because my firstborn son had a lot of medical problems. We nearly lost him. That'll be another subject some other
Right.
time, but
Right.
nearly lost him just in the first few weeks that he was born. He is a miracle. He's still with us today. But that really turned things upside down. And I tried to work from home and kind of work while I was a mom for a little while, but it quickly became apparent that I wasn't going to be able to do that. And so I just stopped that. And my husband had to really take over. He was not in a professional career when we met and married. He was a professional cyclist, like a bike racer, like Tour de France kind of thing. And so he suddenly had to rise up and get a real job and start, paying the bills, because I was taking care of my firstborn, and then my second came along pretty quickly. And, he just didn't have the boobs to nurse the baby. Sorry. But, just what are you going to do? There's just
Right.
some things the
Well,
dads can't do.
right.
So, yeah. So then I was at home for years and years and years, ultimately had 7 babies. Yes, I'm totally crazy. That's another story too, but yes, had 7 babies, same marriage, same belly. But somewhere along the way, I started struggling a lot, and I ultimately went back to school and went back to work when my youngest was in school. And now I'm a part-time. I work some, and my primary is a stay-at-home mom, but we have vastly different perspectives,
Right.
different experiences
Right.
as we were young moms.
All right. So
So
let's talk about that.
tell me what's one of the worst things. So when I was a stay-at-home mom, I was home with my kids, all day long, every day.
Mhm.
What's one of the worst things I could have said to you?
I could never let someone else raise my kids.
Ooh, because where were your kids during that time?
Well, when they were younger, we kind of went back and forth between having a nanny and having them in childcare, or having a nanny and having them in childcare. And it really just, we were a military family, and It really just depended on the location and the availability of, of
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
But yes, that is the absolute worst thing to hear as a working mom, that
Mm.
I could never let someone else raise my kids. And my response to that is that no one else is raising my children, right?
Right.
I'm still
Right.
raising my children. I have someone who is entertaining them and keeping them safe during the
Mhm.
day while I'm at work.
Yeah.
But I'm the one who is taking care of their medical needs and their physical needs and imparting values upon them and
Right.
showering them with love and growing those family relationships, right? I,
Right.
I didn't view it as um, that the nanny or the childcare provider was actually raising my children, right? They were
Right.
employed, to care for them while I worked.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
does sting to
Ugh.
hear those words. Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting. Conversely, one of the top things you can say to a stay-at-home mom is, "You're so lucky you get to stay home with your kids."
You get to.
And we never know another person's story,
Right.
whether that working mom, has to work because the family just cannot make ends meet unless she does, or whether that woman she's passionate about her career and what she's doing. And that is her hugely valuable contribution to the world. We don't know another person's story. And why is that stay-at-home mom a stay-at-home mom? Because I'll tell you, in the early years when I was a stay-at-home mom, I felt like I had to be a stay-at-home mom because I had a chronically ill child.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't even go out for date night. The only people that ever kept him till I want to say he was like 11 were family, just like my husband's parents that were close by, my parents, that it was somebody who knew all the ins and outs of his medical issues. And so and people said that to me, "Oh, you're so lucky you get to stay home with your kids." And I just wanted to poke them in the eyeball, like, really? You're so lucky you get to go to work. So either way, we have this mismatch of information.
Well, and let's not discount that there are lots and lots of moms who do feel lucky that they get to stay at home because
Oh
they
my
did
gosh,
choose
yeah.
that, not out of necessity to care for, an ill child, but because they
For
honestly,
sure.
truly want to be at home with.
Oh,
I chose to pursue a career. And I always tell people that I am a better mom because I worked.
mm-hmm.
I did not have to work. Um, my husband could have supported us alone, but um, I needed that. I needed that
Yeah.
fulfillment. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah.
That's such a good point. I think, yeah, I mean, I've got lots of girlfriends who feel absolutely privileged and lucky to be able to stay home with their kids.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm pulling up these points from an article. So I'm reading an article, 12 things to never say to a stay-at-home mom. And it is from Reader's Digest online, readersdigest.com. And so I'm listing these in order on the article. So,
Okay.
you
So
know.
what's next on not to say to a stay-at-home mom?
Okay. The next one is, what do you do all day?
And that has to be asked by someone who's not a mom at all. Right.
Right. Yeah. Or, okay, now my sister may listen to this someday. And so, Tammy, I'm not dogging on you, but my sister and I, when we were young moms, did things very, very differently. She is a radiologist and she has always been a professional. I mean, she was med school straight into her professional career. And she married a doctor. And so they have really busy lives. She is as equally crazy as I am. And I have no idea why. She also has 7 children by birth, same husband, grew in her belly. We do pregnancy really well. We just kind of genetically, we got that.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, both of us love being pregnant. So she, was working. She has her radiology office in her home, and she had a live-in nanny since her second baby was like newborn, I think. And so, I mean, along her third, her fourth, or fifth kid, she didn't change diapers. She did not wash dishes. She did not make a meal. She didn't do any of the things that I spent all day long doing. And so I think that question, I would often think of my sister. If somebody would say, what do you do all day? I'd be like, well, I wish I had a nanny and a housekeeper, because she had a live-in nanny and housekeeper.
Right,
And I'm like, I do laundry, I make meals, I incessantly make meals. All I do is make and serve meals and change diapers and whip out something to nurse a baby.
right. Yeah, so that's busy.
Oh, exhausting. Yeah.
All right, so
Definitely as busy as a working mom. So now you go.
so I'm also looking at an article, and this one is from Working Mother.
Okay.
And it's called 13 Things You Should Never Say to a Working Mom.
Okay.
All right, so see how this one hits you. I saw your kid on the class trip today. She was crying. I think she missed you.
Oh, that's
I
awful.
know, right? And
Goodness.
I can absolutely relate to that. I absolutely can,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I did go on some class trips, but
Mm-hmm.
it's super hard to work class trips into a busy professional schedule, right? And so I did miss out on those. And I did have my kids express sadness,
Yeah.
that other kids' moms went on the trip, but I was not able to do that.
Yeah.
And so if someone actually said that to me, I would be crushed, absolutely
Right.
crushed. I mean, you talk about trying to make somebody feel guilty. Just don't
Mm-hmm.
go there. Don't go
Right.
there. That's just mean.
I have to say that one I have felt the sting of for a different reason. Maybe it's just having a large family or having kids at far different ages. And so, I'd have a fifth grader going on a field trip, but I had, then a younger elementary school kid and a toddler and a baby in my arms, a nursing baby. I was always nursing babies, just constantly, forever. And so I didn't get to go on those trips either. I remember so much missing things like that, even as a stay-at-home mom. So that's an interesting one that I can see someone saying it like they're not trying to be mean, like, oh, your sweet girl missed you today. But still, it just feeling like, oh, crushing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because the child could easily have been crying for some other reason, right? Not
Yeah.
because they missed their mom.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
What's on your, oh, go ahead.
Elementary school kids miss their moms, that's
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. Especially fun moms
Aw, and Brainy Moms.
and brainy moms. All right. What's next on your list of things not to say to a stay-at-home mom?
Okay. Well, I don't know. See, this one is on the list, and I'm going to say both of them together. Don't you need a break? And why are you so tired? Don't you need a break? And then also, why are you so tired? And they seem kind of opposite. But I remember those times of people saying, oh my gosh, you're with your kids all the time. Don't you need a break? And my answer was, yes, I do. I
Clearly.
do need a break.
They follow me to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness, yes. And I would think, how dreamy it would be to go to the office where I could go to the toilet alone.
Right.
So I get that. And I think that you're probably going to say there are some stay-at-home moms who would say, don't you need a break? No, I love being around my children. But I think that's rare. I'm sorry, but I just do.
I would agree. For sure.
I mean, 24/7, it's just exhausting.
Yes.
And then the why are you so tired? I think I think it's that same thing where we don't see each other's perspective, that a working mom is like, well, I'm so tired. Of course I'm so tired. I'm working at the office all day long. Then I come home and I'm trying to get, quality time with my kid and making dinner and doing all these things. I'm exhausted. Why are you so tired? You got to play Barbies and take a nap. And so same thing, stay-at-home moms are working just as hard as the working moms. It's just different work.
Right.
Okay, what's next for you?
Okay. I don't know how you do it. I'd feel too guilty.
Oh, yeah, that one's just mean.
Yeah. So as a working mom, there are times when you do feel guilty. There were times that I felt guilty, that I wasn't especially when my kids were little.
Yeah.
But you don't have to rub that in.
Right. Yeah. And that just seems mean.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the guilt, here it is on both sides. Because another big question, you don't want to say it, or a big thing, not question. Well, it is kind of a question, but to say to stay-at-home moms is, well, what about your education? Why'd you bother getting your master's degree? I mean, what a waste. And honestly, I've had that one, from my mom, from my sister, and my sister would say things like, but you're just so smart, Teri. You can do anything you want to do. And I'm like, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So don't even tell me about that. And my mom would be like, oh, that college degree, all that money.
Well, with 9 kids, that's basically your own classroom. So I think your own children were benefiting from all that you learned in
There you
school,
go.
right?
There you go.
And even if you had only had one, your own child can benefit from all that you learned in school, right?
Absolutely.
And no matter what, and okay, so yours is in psychology, but no matter what your degree is in, that experience, the college experience is valuable,
Right.
whether or not you're actively using the content from that experience all day, every day. So that's just rude.
It's just like the one you were talking about. That's just pouring on the guilt. Let's just not go there. Because I think we're all, no matter where we are, I really believe as moms, we are all doing the best we can with where we're at, with the situation we're in.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, what else you got?
I don't know how you do it. It must be so hard. Well, of course it's hard.
Right.
Working is hard, whether you have kids or not.
Yeah.
Right? Balancing married life and a job can be hard. So, you add children to the mix, and of course it's hard. There's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a job that is rewarding in any way, it's not an easy job.
Right.
Right? I mean, you work hard to produce quality work. So, yeah, it's hard.
Well, so I'm going out of order here. I'm just kind of piggybacking on yours because here's one. I don't know how you do it. It would be so exhausting to be with my kids all day long, every day. And again, it's the same thing. I don't know how you do it. And I wonder if maybe those two comments, those two questions are a little more compassionate than we realize.
Or the grass is always greener type comments.
Yeah, but then, the grass is always greener, but then also kind of going like, I'm exhausted. And I'm looking at you thinking, dang, you must be exhausted too. I mean, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
That's kind of some understanding.
Okay.
Between two perspectives. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to stop for just a second and give a shout out to our sponsor.
Okay.
For this episode, Learning RX. And we personally are very grateful for Learning RX as it has benefited our families. So thousands of students with reading and dyslexia struggles have fallen even further behind due to the impact of COVID-19, but there is hope. Learning RX one-on-one brain training programs are designed to target and strengthen the cognitive skills that we rely on for reading, spelling, and writing. According to one study of almost 10,000 Learning RX clients, students on average saw their reading skills improve by 3.5 years. Visit learningrx.com today to learn more. Again, that is learningrx.com.
All right.
All right. What else you got? Do you have another comment or question that's a good one?
I do. Okay. So there's always time to work later. These early years are so precious.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know about you, but I think every year is precious in my child's life.
Yeah,
right. And
they get better.
Yeah. I mean, there's something different about every age and stage. And so missing it now, missing it later, missing all of them, there's,
Yeah.
Yeah, the early years are precious, but the middle years are precious and the teenage years are precious. Well, not always, but for the most part, precious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they get through some of the rough years, then it gets precious again.
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Well, so my sister-in-law stayed home um, until her kids got into she said, I'm going to stay home with my kids until they get into elementary school. And then when they got into elementary school, she realized, well, they need me more or as much now as they did when they were little.
yeah.
So every
It's,
year is precious.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is, I do think sometimes it almost feels like the fifth and sixth grader need me more than the toddlers did. I don't know, that sounds weird, but there's more like emotional investment needs that it's not, the early years are like physically exhausting, up nights, changing diapers, laundry, fixing every meal and snack 10,000 times a day. But yet as time goes on, there's more like emotional exhaustion as a parent, I think. So,
Yeah. All right. What do
well,
you have?
okay. So this one says, just remember how blessed you are to be able to stay home with your kids. So, I mean, I think, yeah, obviously we would be like, okay, of course, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. But just don't shame me with that reminder, because most days I want to flush somebody's head down the toilet. Don't call like social services. I would never really do that. But I mean, what mom doesn't just have an afternoon where you just want to chunk them out the window? I mean, I don't care if you're working or stay at home or whatever, but just remember how blessed you are. And you're like, oh, thanks. Great.
Well, yeah, yes, you do remember how blessed you are. That doesn't make it any easier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, how about this one? I'm surprised you went back to work. Your husband seems so successful.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so in my case, like I said before, my husband could have supported us on his own. I wanted to work. I'm passionate about what I do. And so a
right.
comment like that completely invalidates, my own desire to make a difference in the world.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a tough one.
And so conversely, I think stay-at-home mom gets, wow, your husband must be doing really well. I couldn't afford to stay at home. How do you afford to stay at home? And it's that same thing, as if it's all a financial decision. And yeah, there were times early on when I was a stay-at-home mom, I felt like I had to be. And then there was a point when I chose to be, even though it was hard, because we started homeschooling our kids, just because of a lot of complicated reasons that, again, that can be some other episode. But I chose that, and it didn't feel as much of a burden anymore. And my husband wasn't making a ton of money yet. And so we were doing that well. And it probably would have been a lot better for us financially if I'd have gone back to work.
Yeah.
And so you're in a trade-off no matter where you're at.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
You look exhausted.
Oh gosh. Wait, what? There's one down here. I should find, I can't find it. Oh, yeah, I already said it. You must be so exhausted.
Yeah, you look exhausted.
Yeah, you look exhausted. Great. You must be so exhausted. But you look exhausted. That's just mean.
I know, you don't say that to anybody.
No, never. Except, maybe your spouse comes in the door and they've had a bad day. Oh,
Right,
honey, you look exhausted. Let me rub your feet.
But you don't say that to another mom.
No.
For sure.
So sad.
Of course I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
At one point when I was teaching in the classroom, before I became a psychologist,
Yeah.
I was up at 5. I would, have my kids in the car by 6:15, dropped off at daycare at exactly 6:30 when the doors opened, drove to work, taught all day, did the opposite, routine on the way home, graded papers till midnight. Of course I was exhausted.
Right. Just don't remind the working mom that she looks exhausted.
Exactly.
Or the stay-at-home mom.
Right.
So here's one. I could never stay home I need adult conversation. I need to work so I can use my brain.
Mm,
Ouch.
yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't use my brain at all during all
No.
those years as a stay-at-home mom. My brain was just cabbage. I wasn't using it. I'm like, no, stay-at-home moms are often amazing multitaskers.
Right?
Well, jugglers. How's that? We're brain jugglers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't need to be reminded that we're not using our brains in a career-oriented professional way. We already know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I would like to share some tips on how to tighten up this communication
Nice.
between working moms and stay-at-home moms,
Hmm.
who have made different choices. So
Yeah.
I want to give our listeners 4 tips.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is ask yourself why you have a negative view about something different than you.
Mm.
Right. And so if you're able to actually just take a step back and say, why am I having these negative thoughts about someone who just made a different choice than I do? And
Yeah.
if you could try to see things from their perspective, that's an amazing way to build empathy for your co-moms, in the
Yeah.
world, for
Yeah.
sure. What do you think about that?
I think that is so important. And I think a lot of stay-at-home moms or working moms that maybe have had a less than gracious attitude about the other side of the fence, I think many of us end up having to eat our words because seasons change.
Mm,
Life changes and things morph. And like right now, we are in a season with the COVID pandemic where working moms are more and more having to be at home moms, either by necessity or the desire to make that transition because of kids being home more, having to school from home or whatever. um, that is, we're seeing both sides more and more lately. And for me, I went back to school when my youngest by birth was heading into kindergarten. And it was because I had just begun to feel that I was exhausted with homeschooling. I wanted to use my brain more. I wanted to expand my learning. I had started to gain a lot of experience as a child development researcher in practicality
right.
with my family and my son's neurological problems. And so I went back and got my master's in psychology, and then, ultimately started working with you, Dr. Amy, and started pursuing my PhD. But then here's the weird thing. I was right on the cusp of going into, I'm going to have a career. I'm going to now choose to be a working mom. And at this point, our youngest adopted she wasn't even, I was still in school when she wasn't even in kindergarten yet. So I was still making some hard decisions, but that was what I wanted to do. And I was ready to go full time, 5 days a week, a working mom. And I stepped into that a little bit and decided, I made that decision. I don't want that. I pulled back from pursuing my PhD, and I'm still am kind of slowly working on it. But I pulled back from pursuing that so hardcore. I pulled back from working with you, so I wasn't working as much, and had to kind of learn that decision that I want to have, for me, kind of the best of both worlds. I get to be stay-at-home mom, and I get to also have 2 full-time career woman work days, which for me is perfect. But seasons change. Another mom may have transitioned into something completely different. I don't know. Does that make sense? That I think as life changes, we have to eat our words and go, wow, it's not what I thought it was.
Right. And I think being able to keep your options open and understanding all of those options and the decision making process that goes into the choices that we make,
Yeah.
then just makes you not have to eat your words later, right? And it makes you not
Yeah.
have to feel regret, that you treated someone who made a different choice
Right.
poorly, right? When you might have to make that choice at some point too. And you could just be supportive, right? All right. So tip number 2.
Yeah.
Just because it pops into your head doesn't mean it should pop out of your mouth.
Yep. Oopsie.
Right.
I'm guilty.
And so we are all different, and we are not going to agree on every decision. And no decision is greater or worse than the next. And so you don't have to share everything that you think is wrong with someone else's decision.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can think it, but you don't have to say it, because words hurt. They sting, and you can't unsay them.
Right. That is good. That's a big ouch. I've really, really struggled with just sort of blabbing out whatever I think. So that's a really good one. Yeah. What's another one? What's another tip?
So the other one is the golden rule, right? So do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So respect other moms' choices just like you want them to respect yours.
Yeah.
Right? You made the choice that works for you and your family. They made the choice that works for themselves and their family.
Right.
And so respect that, because you want them to respect your choice. The words that you're slinging back and forth hurt on both sides.
Right.
Right. And then my 4th tip is talk about the things that you do have in common. The point is not to be right. It's to be connected.
Right.
Right.
So good.
So find those things that you do share in common, whether it's hobbies or movies or, books or your local church or, events happening in your community, or whatever it is that you can find that can help you connect on the same level, so that it's not about the difference in your choices. It's about your similarities and your ability to connect with others, because ultimately that's what we're here for, right? Is to be connected.
Yeah. And to support and encourage one another as moms. I mean, that is the brainiest thing we can do, because when I lift another mom, I'm lifting myself. There is no cost in offering kindness. That kindness and encouragement just lifts my psyche, my spirit as well. Yes. I wish Dr. Amy, I wish I had these tips when I was a younger mom, because the person I was snottiest to is my own sister. Very sad. I think we were probably hardest on one another because we had so many similarities, but then that big working mom or stay-at-home mom thing, we were very opposite. Wish I had done it better. But
well, it's never too late to connect.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And we have gotten much better. So I just wish I had done it better early. And good. So
well, this was fun today.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hey, Dr. Amy, thank you. So much wisdom. And we're all going to be better moms and better friends because of it.
Thank you, Teri. So I'm a busy mom. You guys are busy moms. So we're out.
Bye.